Welcome, Women's Spirit Festival interviews. I'm so excited. Welcome, everybody, Women's Spirit Festival interviews. I have some really special, incredible guests here with this interview, this panel. When we have these panels, it's always magic that arises. So put hello in the comments below if you're watching us live or in the replay. Put replay in the comments if you're catching the replay, because I have a beautiful panel of incredible healers, wisdom keepers that we are bringing to you today. So welcome, Heidi, Connie, Vireo. It's so good to have you all here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to start by introducing each of these incredible women. I'll introduce you, and then you can tell us what you love about the Women's Spirit Festival community or event. Vireo, I'm going to start with you. So Pleasure Coach Vireo, you can wave at us so we know who you are. She's an expert in the area of sacred femininity. She brings lightness, playfulness, and depth to this taboo subject of sexuality. She's the co-creatrix of the 12-month pleasure program and founder of the Pleasure Revolution. Vireo, it's so good to have you here. What do you love about this event?
I love that it is a sacred, safe space for women to connect and talk about taboo subjects like sexuality, talk about things that matter to us as women, and to help remind us that we're actually not alone, and to have resources
Yeah.
so we can move forward in our lives with grace and show up as the best version of ourselves.
I agree with having resources as women. It's how we can really rise. Thanks, Vireo, for being here. Connie Viveros, Divine Light Connections. I'm going to go to you next. So this is Connie, everybody. She's a spiritual teacher, a channel and mentor, and she's devoted to women's awakening, guiding others to trust their intuition, embody divine wisdom, and awaken their soul's deepest gifts. It's a gift, Connie, to have you here. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been very, very meaningful to be part of this conversation, part of the community. I find there are just a lot of stereotypes, a lot of constructs that women tend to find themselves living within. And the struggle is, how do we break free? How do we create new pathways, not only for ourselves, but our daughters, our granddaughters, and just the feminine in general? We want to create new ways of being that allow us more freedom and flexibility and authenticity. So that's really my main reason for being here, that I appreciate the community is allowing us a safe place to be our authentic selves without any judgment, like a no judgment zone. Hello.
I say a big yes to that. Thank you,
Yes,
Connie.
I really appreciate that, Elizabeth, that you've created that safety for us. So thank you.
Somebody write no judgment in the chat right now. Everybody
Yeah.
write no judgment
No
in the chat.
judgment.
No judgment. Because we judge ourselves so much and we project and judge onto others. And what we're doing here in Women's Spirit Festival in this community is creating something I want to say new, but at the same time it's not. It's ancient where women would come together. So I have a feeling we're going to have a wonderful conversation here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Connie. And then Heidi Goodrich, she had a painful past that sparked lifelong curiosity about healing trauma and building resilience. And today, Heidi helps others release their past and reclaim their lives through her work, forgiving the unforgivable. Heidi, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What do you like about this community so far?
Oh, I'm loving all the different perspectives and ways to approach things, and I'm loving the connection. I've actually made a couple friends. So it's just been really fun to expand my own world as well as get to share what it is that I have to share and then hear everybody else's ideas and perspectives. Like it's just a melting pot of growth and inspiration and techniques and passion. There's so much passion. There's so much passion. And wow, to get to be a part of that is fantastic.
No, I'm so glad you're part of it. Passion, like when women feel ignited and they're
Oh,
going together, something
yeah,
happens. It's
yes,
incredible.
yeah,
Put passion in the comments, everybody, if you can feel that. Women here are passionately sharing their stories and their wisdom, and other women are like catching that. It's
yes.
something that's really powerful. So I approached for all of you a little bit about what you do in my intro, but coming from your own hearts, let's start with you, Connie. Tell our audience a little bit more about what you do and why do you do what you do?
Well, I think that the area in general of spirituality is especially meaningful conversation. And I love the name even of your whole summit because spirituality can sometimes feel a little abstract, even intimidating. People immediately go to the understanding or terminology of religion. And my heart has always been in the place of helping people feel more human, like it's okay to be human, that authenticity I mentioned, and connecting that with we're human. And how can we be authentically human and be spiritual? I think the adage that we all know, the I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, is well, how much of your consciousness is in the spiritual realm versus the human realm? And we relate that to the ego realm. So, my passion, my desire, my work that came about because of my own personal interest is deeply supportive in becoming more spiritual. And that's how my own journey began and unfolded. And then the healing and the awakening and the longing to understand the deeper currents of how we can be more spiritual and still be in our human self. So that's kind of who I am, what I do, and how I operate is helping you be more authentic in your spiritual pursuits and still be able to live in this human body and be comfortable.
That's what we're all doing, right? We're
I know we're all
doing
doing it.
spiritual pursuits and we're in human bodies and humans' life. Thank you for bringing
Yeah,
that to the
sure.
table. Vireo, let's go to you next. Tell us a little bit more about your passion and why you do what you do.
Well, first, I really relate to Connie and Heidi, what they're saying. It really blends with what I'm speaking about as well. I think I'm so passionate about it because my own life, for most of it, I felt what I'm going to call kind of like the living dead. I was just get up, go to work, come home. I was going through the motions of life, but really in this patriarchal from the mind, disconnected from the body because of past trauma. And I didn't understand that. And a lot of depression, navigating, childhood trauma, domestic violence. And I just really, when I really faced the depths of depression and didn't want to be on this planet, I reached out and got some help. And I thought I was really alone. And it's going to move me. But the more I reach out to women and I share about the childhood trauma, the sexual trauma, and the domestic violence and the depression and not wanting to be here, the more I find out that actually, sadly, lots of women are experiencing that. I mean, they say the stats are like 1 in 4 have experienced rape, 1 in 4 is experiencing depression, and I actually believe it's way higher than that. It's just that those are the ones that have come forward. So I feel it's my moral responsibility, spiritual responsibility now to speak and share my story without shame and to share it so that it will remind women that they're not alone. And then once we clear the shame out, then we can have access to medicine, the medicine of spirituality, the medicine of pleasure, and we can actually have our own pathway to God, to the divine, whatever you want to call that, through pleasure, through sexuality, through our body, corpus, right? So very similar to what Connie's talking about, that how can we have this human authenticity and spirituality together? Well, we need our body, our femininity to have this pathway, and we need to move the shame away so that we can have that. So I'm so glad that we're here and with both of your stories and you're just really weave into my own experience. So especially, you, Heidi, talking about trauma as well. So
Thank you,
that's why
Vireo.
I'm here.
Thank you for sharing your heart. Can somebody put not alone in the chat right now? Not alone. Put not alone. That's what we all need is that knowing that we are not alone. And it's always divinely orchestrated somehow who's on the panel together. It's just whoever fits in this perfect schedule, but it's like somehow it just matches. You'll feel that. So speaking about what you were just speaking about, Vireo, like you said, it ties in perfectly. Heidi, what about you? How did you come to be doing what you're doing now, and why are you passionate about it?
Yeah, well, first, thank you, Vireo, for saying that because through my journey as well, it's been such a tough topic. And it's part of my passion. I talk about forgiving the unforgivable and feels like trying to swallow a cactus because the level of trauma that gets stored in the body and the psyche and the field, so many layers. And growing up, I was so frustrated because I would want one thing, and then my beautiful, amazing saboteur would step in and take the driver's seat and take me on a journey of ruining everything that I was trying to create, because what I grew up in, it touched my finances, my relationship with food, how I showed up in my sexuality and dating, how I showed up in school. It touched every aspect of my life. And I felt trapped. I felt very trapped, and I didn't feel like I had any control over what I was doing. It didn't matter what I wanted. My saboteur was so much stronger. And I know so many people feel that way. And so my passion has been, how do I become in relationship with that part of myself and get my saboteur in the back seat and get my adult in the front seat, my higher self and my spirituality in the front seat to take me on my journey. And that's where I find freedom, through honoring the saboteur, honoring the pain, working on forgiveness, but having my adult higher self in control of my life and leading me and guiding me.
So well said. To choose who's in control, not the saboteur, or the enemy, or the whatever that thing is,
Mhm.
but the adult self, that wisdom self that's moving
Yeah.
forward. Somebody write freedom in the chat. Yeah.
Mm.
So good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Heidi, for that. What would you say? Let's carry on with you, Heidi, for this first question. What would you say is a shift that maybe you've experienced it, but that you think all women need to go through to claiming that, to putting who they want to be in the driver's seat of their life? What's the shift that women need?
Well, I would say the biggest aspect of freedom is not denying or pushing away the judgmental feelings, the criticism, the shame, the guilt. It's about being in relationship with it and knowing there is not a single aspect of those feelings, those emotions, any event that you have been through, there is gold in all of it. Those events and those feelings are teachers. And we need to bring them in and show us where we are investing in lies instead of a divine truth. And when you come into relationship with the whole aspect of everything, every event has darkness and it has lightness, and bringing it all together into a melting pot and working with it, honoring every aspect of it, it bringing it all together allows for healing, allows for a releasing, allows for an acceptance of what is. And now I'm going to claim my power back, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to be in a space of gratitude for the teacher that showed up for me.
And that's a way to, like your work, forgiving the unforgivable,
Yeah.
showing up in that space of gratitude.
Yes.
Love what you said, in not investing in lies, but instead investing in divine truth.
Mhm.
Yeah. Vireo or Connie, is either one of you like move to
Yes.
carry on in this? I can feel that. Vireo, go
Yes,
for it. And
yes.
then go for it in that, and then tell us about the shift that you think is women are needing now.
Yes, yes to the gratitude. I think, what I believe that everything is always happening for us, not to us.
Yeah.
And so two things. One, when I moved myself out of that triangle of savior, perpetrator, victim, putting anybody in that place, including myself, and I moved into this place of just being grateful, because all of that shit became compost and fertilizer for the strengths and the character and the personality and the gifts and the skills I bring to other people. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
Vireo pleasure coach if I had not experienced those things. And now when people come to me, I'm not just relating them with book talk or something I read about. I lived it. So I can understand, I'm related, we can relate to each other. So be grateful for the shit. And sometimes there is steps to go through, right? We can't always jump to gratitude right away, but eventually with support, move yourself towards gratitude. And then I think the other piece that has been really critical for me and the women I'm blessed to work with in our pleasure program is to stop believing that it's selfish to put yourself first.
Mhm.
We've been told this lie as women. It's been programmed into us to put our children, our husbands, our wives, our partners, our work, our school, everybody else first. And we burn ourselves out. We get sick. And so now I do have people now, I will not name them, who call me selfish. And I say, thank you. And they look at me like, that wasn't a compliment, Vera. And I go, oh, I take it as one because it now means I am way better at putting my oxygen mask on first so that I can give from my overflow. And I model that now because that's a lie that I don't want anybody to keep anymore. Fill yourself up first. It's not selfish, it's actually responsible.
Yeah. Self first, give from your overflow. Somebody write that in the chat. It's beautiful. And that is a shift to not just think about, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to put my oxygen mask on first, but actually living it. That's a big shift. Thanks, Vireo, for that. What about you,
Yeah.
Connie?
No, I completely relate. I'm nodding my head right along with everyone here. I call it sacred selfishness. And, my own personal journey did not start as some grand plan to heal myself or connect with guidance or begin to become a more spiritual, intuitive person. It began with my desire to not be so angry and not be such a feeler. I was an empath and an intuitive early, my whole life. I was born that way as a, empath, we call ourselves, or HSP, highly sensitive person. And I used to think it as a wound. I felt it as a wound through my younger years. I was a crier, I cried at everything. I was called a crybaby. And that wounding of me, turned into, substance abuse in my teens to try to escape this overwhelming feeling of everything in the world just affecting me. And so I went on the journey. The journey of my healing unfolded over time and became an awakening to understand the deeper currents of what was happening to me in my life. And I have come through that now, a course of 30, 40 years of working on myself. And it doesn't take that long anymore. We have so much not more knowledge and wisdom, but my wounds are now my wisdom. They really are the parts of me. As you were talking, Heidi, I did shadow work for a really long time, and that was one of the most intensely spiritual times of my life. And Robert Bly, who was a student of Carl Jung, who created the term the shadow, the human shadow, the parts of us we can't be with, he said, and this stuck with me, I'd rather be whole than good. And that I'd rather accept the full range of myself, the sadness, the anger, the grief, the worry, the depth. And it opens up the space for me to be, in bliss and in joy and in those higher realms of the frequencies that we want, and to trust more deeply. And so that, to me, that opening something greater in myself is what I've learned to do through it. And that's just been a huge part of my journey that I think everyone deserves. And we need to be teaching, again, our daughters, our granddaughters, every woman. So why does everybody know this? Why aren't we taught this in school?
I think we used to share wisdom as women, and then that kind of went away.
Yes.
Bringing it back, like the wisdom traditions. I love that
Yeah.
you said the wounds are our wisdom. Rather
Yes.
than resisting them or resisting the shadow, we really embrace those wounds. Thank you for that, Connie. And thank you
Absolutely.
for sharing all these shifts, like the gratitude, putting ourselves first, embracing the wounds. I would add, go from lone wolfing into community, because that's when men can bring all of these pieces together. Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
Heidi. What would you say to, so we've got the shifts that women are embracing. Are y'all feeling this as you're watching everybody? Put yes in the comments if you're writing notes, if you're like, yes, these are so good. I want to learn from these women. What is a tangible tool? It's conceptual to be like, okay, you got to do this thing or embrace, or what's a tangible, like, daily action that the women in our audience could take? Maybe it's something that all of you do yourselves that actually moves you towards embracing these shifts. Who wants to start us off? What's a tangible, kind of daily, down to earth
So I
tool?
can start.
Go for it, Connie.
So for me, it really came about of connecting with guidance and beginning to have a relationship and an experience with the parts of myself that are non-physical. They're our intuition, they call them the clairs also, the clairaudience, the clairvoyance, the clairsentience. Me being a feeler, I learned that that was my language. My direct inner knowing came through these deep feelings. And when I started to practice that through energy work, through prayer, through meditation, and what I now call channeling, I'm connecting with the higher realms, which is not only my soul self and my inner self, but also guidance. Those beings that are there, angelic realm, master being, ascended masters, galactics, whatever you choose to call them, but they're there for us. And I think channeling sometimes brings up a lot for people, but I talk to my guidance every day. I have a deep, abiding, trusted relationship with that inner self, who is my circle of guides, my team, I call them, and I draw upon that every day. I draw upon that and I check in, and I have now what I call an indelible, containable way, feeling within myself that I know that's my truth. And it may not be your way. And I teach people how to learn what your signs are, what your absolute truth. When you know your absolute truth, I call it our sweet spot. We know it, we feel it, and it becomes indelible. It's something you can't argue with. It's like, that's my yes. And so I practice that and approach that, and I go more deeply with it in every way I can.
Our indelible truth. It just feels good hearing you talk about it. Like my body, as hearing you speak about it, my body's just settling. I'm also a highly sensitive,
Right.
empathic as well. So I'm like, oh,
I
it feels
know.
good to
We
hear.
have to understand it's our superpower. We were, ridiculed, shamed for it, and criticized and judged for it before. And now it's like, oh, I understand that. That's actually the way I tell my own truth. So thank you for sharing.
Beautiful. Yeah. And daily, everyone, did you hear Connie speaking to that? It's daily connecting with her guidance, connecting with her team. It's not once a year on New Year's when you're coming up with some goals, but it's every single day. And this is what these tools are all about, everyone. All right. Heidi, do you want to go next to share? What do you think is a daily practice or a tool that the women in this community can use?
Uh, this is actually a really great question, a very important question. I really look at emotional hygiene. Um, there are all kinds of things throughout the day, throughout the week that are little assaults, on our system, whether it's hearing someone be judgmental, whether it's watching the news, whether it's coming home. This happened to me yesterday, and my dog had torn apart paper towels and they were all over my floor, and I didn't have the energy or capacity to clean it up.
Mhm.
Um, so I really feel it's so important to have techniques. In my talk, I call them emotional first aid kit. And this is actually my resource that I like to offer to people. It's the stress busting duo. They're two techniques and it clears. Like when I saw the paper towels, I immediately started going through one of my techniques because my irritation shot through the roof. Um, so I helped calm down my nervous system. I helped get that energy out of my body so that I could get back into clarity. Because if we don't clear even those small grievances, they build and build and build. And then a week later, you're yelling at somebody that you normally wouldn't yell at. And when you do get triggered, because it's going to happen, you're clean. You're not going to be reacting off of a full tank. So the techniques I personally like to share, you can do in the car. I have been on a date before and someone said something and he pissed me off, and I started immediately doing a technique with my hands underneath the table so that I could stay grounded and not get pulled into a reaction that was inappropriate. So I like to do on the spot things that you can do in the car, in public, at the grocery store, so that you're constantly just clean out your system.
Yeah, I like that, the stress busting duo. Why don't you tell us how we can get it? Is there a magic word they can put in
Oh,
the chat?
yes.
Let's just
Put
go right there.
freedom. Yeah, freedom in the chat. And I will send you the link in a DM with a way to access that.
stress busting duo from Heidi. You mentioned it, so I was like, oh, we need it now. Put freedom in the chat, everybody. And I love that you have techniques that can be used, like you said, like with your hands, like you're on an interview, you can do something with your hands, or you're at a dinner table or at the grocery store lineup, things like that. So freedom, everybody. Thanks, Heidi. Vireo, what about you? What's a technique or a daily practice or something that you find really helps you to shift?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Heidi and Connie, for your great tools. And I will be putting sometimes put freedom in the chat for me. I think one of them is what I call the Shakti feminine body scan. And just beginning, we're so disconnected from our bodies. So just before I even get out of bed, I just lay in bed and I actually smile at each of my body parts. It's an inner smile as well. And I just either sometimes I start at the top, sometimes at the bottom, depending on how I'm feeling. And I just scan and check in with each of my body parts. Sometimes I do the colors of the chakra, but I just scan my body. And when I come to pain or discomfort or some sort of tension or contraction, I stop and I notice it and I give it my attention. And I want to give one sort of extreme example how this has helped me. When I was coming out of what had become abusive marriage, it wasn't originally, that's a whole nother story, but I was getting migraines so bad, so bad. They were debilitating. I was throwing up. I couldn't drive sometimes. They were just excruciating. And I started using some of my own pleasure practices. And for a migraine, rather than we're a society that, like, even if I tell somebody has a headache, they're already grabbing the acetaminophen or ibuprofen from their cabinet and bringing it to me. And I didn't even ask for it. And usually I just say, no, actually, I'm going to check in with my body first. So rather than silencing the body, I don't say don't ever use meds, but listen to the body first. It's literally our body begins with whispers. And then when we don't hear the whisper, it gets louder and eventually it shouts at us. So I started to discover that using my own pleasure practices, I could go and self-pleasure. And first I would put an eye mask on. I would drink water, so hydrate, put an eye mask, block out all the sensory things, maybe even put in earplugs, and go and lay down. So that would first thing, just calm my nervous system. And then once I got myself calm enough and rested, then I would self-pleasure and I would take myself to orgasm. And every single time, the headache and the migraine would disappear. So if you look at Louise Hay and a lot of the things in migraine do talk about this disconnect from our body and our sexuality. So check in with your body, listen to it rather than silencing it right away and wanting to get rid of the pain. Pleasure and pain are actually two sides of the same coin. So the more you actually dive into the pleasure, the more you dive into pleasure, the more joy you have, the more you dive into the pain, you actually, you're making space. Kahlil Gibran has a beautiful poem. He talks about joy and sorrow and pleasure and pain. We actually are making space for pleasure. When we contract with the pain, we don't actually have space for pleasure. So feel the pain. It's actually your doorway into more pleasure.
Yes. Vireo, I love this so much. Like I can just feel our community leaning in. Put yes, yes, yes in the comments when you feel that. Vireo, why don't you talk about the gift that you have for everybody right now as well?
Yeah, and this gift that I was just sharing is not actually on that list, but I could add it on.
What should they put in the comments in order to get that?
So the gift, I'll add this on, but my gift is actually 8 empowering steps to feel like a goddess, to increase body confidence and increase self-love. And I literally have gathered this over 20 years of my journey to get to who and where and what I've become today. Because women who maybe weren't at a place financially or emotionally or time-wise to be in my pleasure program for 12 months, I wanted to give them something. So I literally did a 1-page PDF that gives things that I do on a daily basis that helps me to be in this body, to feel more feminine, to start to move away from some of the body hatred and body criticism, and to feel more like a goddess. So put the word goddess below if you would like 8 empowering steps to feel more like a goddess and increase your self-love, increase your body love. And they're easy. You can literally print them off right away. I would put them on your fridge or by your office or bedroom and start doing the practices every single day. They're easy.
And you'll notice a difference, everyone. Put the word goddess in the
Absolutely.
chat. And Vireo is a living example of this. She's radiant, she's glowing, she's living in Mexico half the year. Vera, you're over 60 now, right?
I'm 64 and I feel and look younger than I did at 40.
Exactly. Like she's a living, beaming example of her pleasure practices at work. So put goddess in the comments, everybody. Vireo, thank you.
I'm
And
signing.
Liv and
Heidi's
Elizabeth,
signing up right
her
now.
team,
Yeah.
her team will be giving them, because I actually was kicked off of Facebook for my authenticity and talking about sex. So you'll have to just know that other people will be acting on my behalf, but you can still come and find me.
Yeah, thanks, Vireo. Thank you so much. Vireo's got a YouTube channel as well, everybody. All right, Connie, over to you. Tell us about what gift and offering you have for the women in our group.
So I always say that channeling, again, and don't be afraid of the word, at its healthiest should bring us into greater alignment with our truth, our love, our groundedness, our inner clarity. And so I have an offering that is a booklet. It's called the ABCs of Channeling to get you started. It really begins with the understanding of relationship. It's like us here getting to know one another as we talk and as we commune and as we connect with one another. We get to know one another, our language and our style and that personality in a sense. So I have a book called the ABCs of Channeling, and you can just drop booklet in the chat and I'll be happy to send it to you. It's absolutely free, but it's about an 8-page booklet that just kind of walks you through some of the protocols and some of the process, energy clearing, things you might want to do to help facilitate, aid, and assist you in making that first connection with your own guidance. So I believe it's natural. It's our natural right, birthright, to be in connection with the guides and the beings that serve us in our human form, and that guidance and insight and inner knowing. It's time for us all to be connected to the greater soul experience.
I love that. Booklet
Thank
is the
you.
word, everybody.
Yeah.
Put booklet in the
Mhm.
comments and
Not
you're
so
going to get
sexy, but
no, but it's wonderful because learning to trust that inner guidance and the wisdom and connecting to our guides, it's something that can give us everything that we want in life. So booklet, everybody, put it in the chat and Connie will connect with you directly to get that resource to you. This event is full of resources and wisdoms and teaching. Each of these women here have actually, this conversation is wonderful, but the real event is the talks that these women are doing, because they're giving you teachings and transmissions. If you want to go deeper with each of them, all y'all need to do is go to the little search magnifying glass that's up at the top of this page. Type in Vireo's name, her stuff will come up. Type in Heidi's name, her stuff will come up. Type in Connie's name, her stuff will come up. Their talks will come up, and you'll be able to go deeper with them. And it's like a spiritual school here that we've actually got going on. So it's just a matter of you finding a track, finding a teacher that you all enjoy and that you'll feel a resonance and connection with, and following them through this event. So go ahead and do that. Make sure you connect with the speakers. And what's also special about Women's Spirit Festival is that for the most part, you can click on the speakers' names here and you can send them a direct message. There aren't any other events where you can just have that really connected community and follow through. So send our speakers messages. They love it. And press the follow button and friend request them and be in community and connection with them. With Vireo, she's got team members here doing it for her because she's creating something special off Facebook. So we love this. As we move towards wrapping up, what do you want all of our community to always know and remember? What do you want all of our community to know and remember? Who wants to start us off for this one?
I'll start us off. Forgiving something unforgivable is possible. I have been through the very worst that humanity can deliver. And I have been able to find freedom from so many moments. I have been able to find my power again. I am able to look at some horrific memories that I have and have zero reaction to it, and instead be full of gratitude. Oh my God, I made it and I'm okay and I am stronger because of it. So if I can do that, anybody can do it. What I did is nothing unusual or unique. It's accessible to every single person out there, whether you've been sexually assaulted, whether you've been cheated on by your best friend. I mean, the hard things in life, you can get free from those and feel that pain, fill the hole, let the pain go, and then fill that hole with gratitude and joy and love. And it's possible. It's possible.
I love that. Somebody write forgiveness is possible in the chat, and that's freedom. And Heidi's word, by the way, it was freedom, right, Heidi? Put freedom in the chat in order to connect with Heidi, everyone. Forgiveness is possible. That's beautiful. That's freedom in that. Yeah. Who wants to go next?
I love your example, Heidi, with the cactus. Like that really honors that forgiving the unforgivable. Like I will never forget that image. So I want yours too, freedom, and I want Connie's gift as well. I mean, definitely what you just said, Heidi, to, forgive the unforgivable and to also know that all of that was actually a gift for us. Even though it was like a really hard, like a cactus to swallow, that it is actually all of that was the gift. That there's a beautiful book by who wrote Conversations with God. Neil Donald Walsh wrote The Little Soul to the Sun. And you have to read that one. It's a children's book, but it's an adult's book. And he talks about how this one angel wanted to know love and forgiveness, and God said, well, you are that. You are love. You are light. Well, he's like, well, I want to know, like, I want to know myself. And so he said, well, the best way is to actually go down to earth and have something horrible happen to you so that then you can be love to that person. You can be forgiveness. And it's a beautiful story. And it encapsulates exactly what you're saying. And then, so know that gift, that is actually a gift to you, so you can remember who you are. And then hopefully that opens you to more pleasure, joy, peace, ecstasy, which is then a pathway to the divine. And whatever word you want to call God, creator, great spirit, higher power, all of it, there is something greater. And pleasure is actually your medicine that can get you there. And it often needs to begin with forgiveness and then gratitude, forgiveness, gratitude. And then you get to open, and then you get to channel, do what Connie's got. All of it together.
Like you were saying earlier, Vireo, things happen for us. So even if they're hard, so that we can be broken open, so to speak. Beautiful. Thank you.
And then sometimes it's to ask that question, help me, God, source. How is this happening for me? Because wow, right now it really feels like it's happening to me, but help me see how it's happening for me.
And to realize we can't do this alone.
Yes.
So true.
Thank you. Connie, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, so much resonates here, all of the above. It's this feeling like we all are channels. We are spiritual beings who came here to Earth School, wrapped ourselves in a human, meat suit or bodysuit or whatever we call it, to have these human experiences to evolve our soul, to awaken our soul. And if you've ever had, everyone's a channel. And don't be afraid of your spiritual sensitivity. We've all heard, our 5 physical senses: the hearing, seeing, tasting, smelling, touching. Your psychic senses are as real. Your psychic awareness, your psychic intuition, your clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairaudiotes. That's all true for you as well. And for me, it's like it can become as real in your life as any other thing. So if you're having spiritual phenomena, if you're seeing numbers, if you're getting the parking lot show up, that's the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more depth in how you can identify and relate and be guided by your soul's purpose, the reason why your soul came here. It's much greater than why our human self came here. Yes, to learn the lessons, but once you move out of that realm and you start to relate to and communicate with your soul family, your soul spirit, your non-physical realm, you're like, oh my gosh, my purpose is eternal. It's not one small life. We've done this many times, ladies. I think, this go around, we've been here many iterations. And I know for me, it has always been to bring the heart, the wisdom, the soul, the life form of the feminine back into equanimity and balance in our world. It has been so diminished and minimized. And the divine feminine is rising. You know, she has since the conversion, since 2011 and 12 for me. You know, what's happening? She's rising again. And here we are, our voices and guidance has told me verbatim specifically, there will be more people awakened on our earth by 2050 than ever before in humanity's history.
Okay, that
So
is
we're
good
part of a
news.
movement. We're part of a huge movement that we all are participating in, and your life matters. And your guides are here to help you and support you and lead the way. And we all have them, whether you realize it in this moment or not. So connect and let's all get this thing done.
Yeah, let's do it this time. I love that reminder that our soul's purpose is eternal. It's not just a life thing that we do, but it's that. Thanks, Connie, for that. This is really great news. The divine feminine is rising, and it's
Yeah.
right here.
It's right here.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth, it happens by bringing women together in this way to feed off each other and, you know, really learn and snowball together and say, I get excited when you're excited and listening to your stories. And here we are, we're all connecting. And that's what women do. We are the connectors of our humanity and of our soul. So
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth, for doing this. It's really powerful. You're making a huge difference in this world.
Oh,
amen.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
I loved hearing that.
Yeah.
This is why I do this. I know on the surface level it'd be like, okay, event logistics, but then there's a greater purpose.
Right.
And thank you all for being part of it. And
And if anybody's feeling a chill on the truth of that, that's your truth. That's your truth chill.
I had goosebumps for the last 5 minutes
Right.
straight.
The goosebumps is like we are living our soul's purpose, which is the best thing in the world we can do.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, ladies. This is really beautiful. Anything else bubbling up before we close? If there's anything that you're like, oh, this is coming up, or this feels so good, I'm happy to create just another minute or two space for
I
it.
think the only thing I'd like to say is if you're searching for meaning, if you're searching for support, if you're searching for that deeper sense of connection, it's right here. And so if it's not me, it's someone else within this summit or in this community. This is a beautifully orchestrated environment to make that connection. And don't get overwhelmed and, you know, break through your fear or anything that hesitation and just reach out and connect with someone.
Yes, that was exactly what I was going to say too. And to do it without shame, because that's another thing that we are not taught. We're not taught that it's actually strength to ask for help. We're so good at giving, 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 but that's out of balance, right? As much as we give, we need to receive. So reach out for help. It's actually a sign of strength. I wish I would have learned that decades ago. So this is a community. Most of probably all the women who have been here, they're sharing their journey. And so if you can relate, find who you relate to and reach out to her and find your tribe, find your people, find your coach, find your mentor, find some inspiration, because we're not meant to do this journey alone. And again, yeah, it's just so much gratitude for bringing us all here collectively together as women. Elizabeth, so powerful.
Thanks, Vireo. Yeah, it's so true. We're not meant to do this alone. And that's what's so fun. Like I bring women together and I'm like, oh, I'm not even alone in my business anymore. I do this for myself too.
Yeah.
Really good. And that's how we forgive and that's how we love and that's how we connect. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Well, ladies, this has been such a sweet conversation. There's just like a divine magic happening here, and I could just continue hanging out with you all for the rest of the day, the rest of the evening. This has been really beautiful. Everyone who's been watching, will you go ahead and put some love in the comments for our speakers? Will you do that right now? Go ahead and put, what is your aha? What is your insight? What are you noticing? What are you gaining from hearing these women share their stories, their souls, their wisdom? put it in the comments, put love, put thank you, like put a whole bunch of comments here, because this is how they hear you. If we were at a big event in person, you'd be like hugging them or applauding them. And this is how they feel it by you putting it in the comments, everybody. So thank you for doing that. Remember to get in touch with Heidi, the word is freedom. To get in touch with Connie, the word is booklet. To get in touch with Vireo, the word is goddess. So put those words in the comments as well, and they'll come back and look for them. Ladies, this has been so sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been amazing.
Blessings. Yeah.
So
Peace.
much.
And thank you all for watching and being part of Women's Spirit Festival, and for truly being the best part of Women's Spirit Festival. You are our audience. Remember, the best thing you can do right now, put some comments in and press that invite button. It's up there somewhere. Invite a sister, a friend, a mother, a colleague, a client, somebody who you know would benefit from this community. We'll see you all in the next interview. Bye, everyone.
Mm.